Hey guys, Lytane here, and one of the most influential and recognizable mascots in all of gaming is of course Mario. You know him, the plumber that likes to jump and do all that platforming stuff, and what did Nintendo do? They decided to put him into a cart and turn him into a racer. Of course, that makes total sense. So today on Is It Worth It, I want to have a look at the original Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo and see if it's worth it. Like I said, Mario was a household name due to his many adventures on the Nintendo, so when it came to Super Nintendo, it was a no-brainer to see him there as well. Super Mario World was his first big hit on the system, and then it took 2 years before we saw him racing around. Mario is no stranger to doing odd things and being in many different environments. He has his platformers, but he is also a demolition man in Wrecking Crew, cleaning pipes in the arcade Mario Brothers, being a doctor for crying out loud, and even trying to take down Donkey Kong, as well as many other jobs. I guess it was only a matter of time before he started racing. So in 1992, Super Mario Kart hit the scene, and it has no story whatsoever. Just none. Well, that makes this section pretty easy. Should I talk about something else? Do you guys like stuff? I do. So this is pretty awkward. How about I have a look at the manual and see if there's a hidden story there? Well, it seems after reading that there is just the tiniest hint of a story, kind of, not really. After a long time of fighting and running around the Mushroom Kingdom, everyone learns that Lakitu, you know that bad guy in the cloud that throws the spinies at you, that jerk? Well, he opened up his own kart racing tracks and has invited everyone he knows to have some fun on them. That's the story, so put on your seatbelts, grab some coins, prepare your banana peels, and let's play Mario Kart. Mario Kart was the first game to introduce the kart racer as we know it today into the world, and in fact it started off as a F-Zero clone. Nintendo saw that F-Zero was such a great game and it had such a great art style and fan base and it was a lot of fun, but there's one major problem with F-Zero. It's only one player. So Nintendo went into this next game thinking, okay, the sole purpose of this is that we want to have a two-player experience. And after mucking around and starting to develop the game, they decided to put Mario into the driver's seat just because, I don't know, Nintendo likes to do things like that. And they loved it so much that it just stuck. And ever since, it's become a staple, and Mario Kart is pretty much on every system ever since. The goal of the game is fairly simple, just win all the cups, that's about it. And to do so, you have to earn enough points in each of the races. If you come first, you earn 9 points, second is 6, third is 3, and fourth is 1. So as you can see, if you're coming first more often than not, you'll have enough points in order to win the gold. But if you're not very good and you manage to come between 5th and 8th, then you rank out and you pretty much lose life and die, which means you have to redo the same race in the current position that you just finished in. So if you finished 5th, then you restart the race in 5th position. This is also bad if you lose all of your lives, because then it's game over and you have to start the whole cup from the beginning. Besides racing in the Grand Prix or GP mode, there are a few other little things that you can do. There are time trials, which is just that. You race on a track and try and get the fastest time possible. There's no other races as well, it's just you, which lets you have a chance to see the race courses and get familiar with them, which is good, and see if you can get a best time, which is also really fun. Then if you have a friend, you can play match race, which is just you and your friend versing each other on the course, so there's no other computers, which can be fun as well. And finally, battle mode, but I'll be talking about that one a little bit later. As I said, GP is the main mode you'll be playing, and it is here that you'll be learning the ropes and getting better at the game, but before we even start racing, we have to pick a character. There are only 8 to choose from, and there are no secret characters or unlockables either, so what you see is what you get. They are paired up with the characters on the top line having the same stats as the character in the line below it, so Mario and Luigi have the same stats when racing, and they are pretty good at everything because they are the all-rounders. Princess Toadstool, as she was known back then, and Yoshi are the rulers of acceleration, but they aren't too good at top speed. Bowser and Donkey Kong are the heavy characters, and they have the best top speed in the game, but the worst acceleration. Being big, they can also knock the other racers around much more easily. Finally, we have what the manual likes to call the small guys. They are also fairly balanced in how they race, but they aren't as fast as Mario and Luigi. They do have one added bonus though, as they are small, when you drive off-road, they don't lose as much speed as the other characters do, so that's a plus. Also, in the manual it says that these characters are for beginners, but I love using Koopa, so does that make me a beginner then? Aw, dang. So depending on your playstyle, there are a few different races to choose from, and if you are playing 2 players and you both like a certain style, then you can pick both of the characters because they both have the same stats, so one of you can be Mario and the other Luigi. Still, in GP it is fairly important who you pick, as it will determine the skill of the other races. This game introduces a system which is called rivals. Basically, whenever you pick a character, that determines who you're going to be racing against and what they will come. So if you pick Mario at the start of the game, then your rival is going to be Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong will always come first. Sorry, Donkey Kong Jr., just in case people are getting confused. He will always come first in this game as you're playing, unless of course you beat him, in which case he'll always come second. What a loser. And then second place will always come second, third place will always come third, and so on and so forth. Now there is a little bit of a way to change this up. If you do manage to hit one of the opponents, then they can drop positions in the race. So if you hit Donkey Kong and now he's coming third instead of second, then he will try and race to catch back up. But if you hit him really close to the end of the entire thing, so on the 5th lap, then he doesn't have enough time to recover, making it so he goes into 3rd position. Now, if you do this, you can actually change your rival. So now on the next game, the person that was coming second is now your rival. So now Yoshi might be your rival. He's the one that gets the speed boost and becomes your rival for the rest of the game. Now, it's not easy to do, it's not easy to change your rival, but it is possible to do so. But how do you knock them back? Well, items, of course. This game features 8 different items to use in single player, with a 9th being available in 2 players. Nearly all of these items have become staples in the Mario Kart universe, so a lot of them will be familiar to you. Such as the banana peel. It's pretty useless and you drop it behind you and it stays there until someone hits it. You can also throw it forwards, but it's super inaccurate, so it will rarely hit anything that way. Next is the green shell. Throw it forwards and hope to hit somebody, and it will bounce around for practically forever, or drop it behind you like a banana peel. Red shells home into the person in front of you, but in this game they aren't the most accurate and they're a little bit wonky, so they hit walls all the time, and it's best to shoot them when you're on a straight part of the track. The star turns your racer invincible with a small speed boost, and anyone that touches you spins out, but you usually only get them if you're in the bottom positions. The lightning bolt causes all other racers to become small, which reduces their top speed, and if a big racer touches them, they spin out. This also doesn't appear unless you're in the bottom as well. Then we have the mushroom, which gives you a nice little speed boost. We also have the feather, which can make a character jump, which can be used to jump over obstacles or even access a few shortcuts in the game. In 2-player there is a ghost, which steals the other person's item and turns you invisible for a short time, which is definitely handy in battle mode. The last item are the coins, and oh my god, how I hate them so much. So as you race around, there are coins on the floor that you can pick up. Doing so will increase your top speed until you have 10 coins, in which you will be the fastest that your character can possibly be. They are also used if you get hit by the other racers, as you lose coins, and if you end up with 0 and then get hit, you spin out for a much longer period of time, which sucks. What I hate about these coins is that they are mostly useless. Never in my entire playtime of this game, over 20 plus years, have I ever wanted coins. In nearly every course, you only get 1 item per lap, and if you get the coins, then you don't have anything to attack or defend with, so it absolutely sucks. So many times on the last lap, I'll be coming second and I need a shell or something else, and I just get coins, so I can't keep up with first, and I ultimately lose. It's so frustrating. You also have a higher chance of getting them when you're in the top positions, but that doesn't mean you can't get them in the lower positions, because you will. It is a kick in the teeth when you're coming 8th only to get coins as your item. How does that help you? So let's talk about the races themselves. There are 3 different difficulties, with 50cc being the easiest mode, and it's pretty much a walk in the park. It teaches you the controls and it lets you get into the whole spirit of everything as you're learning about rivals, and you're learning about the items, and you're learning about the map, so it's pretty cool. You'll be going through mushroom, flower, and star cups here, and each cup has 5 races in it, and each race is 5 laps, so 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And they just introduce you to all the things. As the courses go on through mushroom, flower, and star, the levels themselves do get harder with tighter turns, more obstacles like moles or thwomps coming down, and it does get a little bit harder, but honestly, as soon as you get any kind of good at this game, 50cc is super easy and it becomes boring. So let's kick it up a notch with 100cc. In this mode, all of the races and all the karts go that little bit faster. Also, all of the computer-controlled players are a little bit more aggressive. They actually try to come first and they actually, throw more items at you and they get in your way a little bit more. It's a nice challenge and it's a good upgrade over the 50cc. Something else you'll notice is as soon as you click on 100cc, you'll see that the special cup at the bottom is unhighlighted and you can't select it. That's because you need to get a cup, and I think you have to be gold in all of the other courses in order to unlock this one. As you can expect, special cup is the hardest races of the game. They have all the tightest turns, all the obstacles that you can think of, and it ends with the now staple and legendary Rainbow Road. Getting a trophy in all these cups does unlock a little bit of a secret as well, 150cc. This is the hardest mode in the game, and it will really test your ability, because if you have not mastered the mechanics, if you have not learnt every track inside and out, you will be defeated. Not only that, but the rivals are complete douchebags. They have so much more aggression to them. They are way more in your face, and every single race that you go through will pretty much be neck and neck, and it's honestly a lot more harder and a lot more unforgiving than the 50 and 100cc. What's more is all the cups are unlocked from the start, so if you want to jump straight into special, you can, but if you get gold on all of them, it doesn't unlock anything new, it just gives you a nice little congratulations message at the end of the game, which honestly is definitely not worth seeing. But if you can get through 150cc and beat your rival, then wow, that's a trophy to you. That's a real accomplishment. So as a kid, I used to play as Koopa all the time. Even now I still play as Koopa. So my rival was goddamn Luigi, and oh my god, he would piss me off so much because he was so in my face all of the time, and oh my god, I just hate him. He was the bane of my existence, and your rival, whoever you pick as your main character, will be the bane of your existence if you're going through 150cc, especially if you're trying to get that gold trophy on Special Cup. But there is a whole other mode to this game, the battle mode. This has you and a friend in an arena trying to kill each other. There are 4 arenas and they get bigger as they go on and have something unique to them. The 2 I always liked as a kid was number 2 because you could use a feather and then hide in the shallow water areas, meaning you couldn't get hit. Yeah, cheap tactics, but it's fun. And number 4 because it was just so large. You have 3 balloons around you, and each and every weapon that hits you makes you lose a balloon. So the last man standing wins, and I can't tell you how much fun this is to play even today. It's such a rush to chase down your foe, shoot them with something, and then scream with joy as it hits or curse the screen as it misses. Red shells are definitely one of the best items here, but like I said earlier, they are a little wonky, so you need to have a clear shot lined up because it's easy to trick them into walls. Regardless, whenever you see your friend with one, it's cause for fear. It takes skill and a little bit of luck to win the game, and it goes by so quick that you'll jump right into another match very quickly. There are a few little glitches in this game as well. Some are harmless, some are good for you, and some just sort of break the game. One of the ones is that if you turn around on a track, on certain tracks like Ghost Valley, you can drive towards the finish line going the wrong way, jump outside of the course past the finish line and into the abyss. When Lakitu picks you up and puts you back on the track, it glitches the game thinking that you've gone around the entire thing and that you're at the finish line, so when you drive over it, boom, new lap. Which means you can do laps every like 10 seconds, which is just phenomenal. There's also this weird little glitch is sometimes when you're in the pack and there's lots of people around you, you can get bumped through people and through objects, which is, I don't know, maybe it's just a bit to do with the collision and hit detection in the game, and it's not a repeatable thing, so you can't really use it to your advantage. It's just something that happens every once in a while. Also, as this is a cartridge game, sometimes if it's not completely clean or dusty, things like this can happen. This is when my friend and I played through it. We were playing through battle mode, and the game just glitched out like no tomorrow. We were having so much fun and laughing so much at trying to just do anything in this game, and this is what it looked like. So that's something. It's not like a thing in the game, it's just because of the hardware of its time. Also, on Bowser's Castle 3, which is something I didn't find out until recently, if you're driving in 150cc and you're going the fastest that you possibly can, when you get to the 2 or 3 jumps, I can't remember what it is, near the start of the level, you can actually take the jump too far and you land in the lava instead of on the platform. So that's just bad game design, really. Being the first game in the series, it does have quite a few other problems that were fixed and ironed out as the games went on. The first is the power slide. As you turn, you can hop, and if you do, then you slide around the corners in order to make tighter turns. It is essential that you learn this for 150cc, but it always feels that little bit wonky and not quite right, and I know many people that never quite got the grasp on it. There isn't any boost to the slide either, like in later games, but that's alright, I guess. All of the courses are fairly small as well, with most laps being about a minute or less depending on your skill and the difficulty. I would have loved a few longer levels, but I also know that it was the limitations of the system. Speaking of limitations, for some reason the game is split in half, with your racer at the top and the map at the bottom. This is a cool idea, and you can see where you are and where the other racers are in relation, but you rarely will look at it due to the fact that you need to see the actual race, because if you're looking at the map, you're gonna crash into walls. I think this was done to make the levels look a little bit better, instead of trying to stretch what you see on the screen to fit the entire screen that you have, but I don't know, and that's just my opinion, so I'm not 100% sure. The rival system is also broken, but you probably won't notice it until you reach 150cc. They are just unfair. First of all, they get a speed boost to them so they can always catch up and beat you, and worst yet is they get unlimited items. While you are usually restricted to 1 per lap, they can use items whenever they want. This is particularly bad with the Mario brothers, as they use stars, which turns them invincible, as well as a death machine that you need to avoid because one touch is most likely going to be fatal and send you back into 5th position. This is why I hated goddamn Luigi, because he could spam stars and be blinking for an entire lap, so I couldn't get in front of him or use an item to hit him. That's not all, the rivals also have unlimited feathers as well, but they don't always use them. This is due to the fact that when a computer puts down an item, the other computers will hit it. So instead of programming a behavior to drive around the obstacle, they jump it instead. This is true when you try to hit them as well, so sometimes you could be throwing a shell or a banana and they'll just jump over it, which is so frustrating because you should have hit them. Once again, this isn't really noticeable until you hit 150cc. Also, Rainbow Road just hurts my eyes. It really did not age too well. Mario Kart is, in my opinion, not worth it. I say this even though I have a big amount of nostalgia and love for this game, but the problems are too numerous. The rival system is very broken. Any kind of fun that you'll have on 150cc is instantly shattered if you're trying to get gold. The races are way too short. The fact that you only get 1 item per lap and all that kind of stuff just adds to all this negativity to it. I will say though that the battle mode is still a lot of fun. Even like 20 years later, playing it with my friend, we had a blast. But that doesn't make the entire game as fun as it could be. Nearly every other game, maybe every other game in the entire series just adds more to this. It just refines it and makes it better. So I would probably play any of the other ones over this. And the only reason why you would play this is if you had nostalgia or if you wanted to check out the series roots. So guys, tell me what you think about Mario Kart. Which is your favorite Mario Kart in the entire franchise? I think there's like 9 now. I don't know if 8 Deluxe counts as a new game. My personal favorite is Double Dash for the GameCube, and then probably 8 or 8 Deluxe, whatever, for the Nintendo Wii U or Switch, like I said, whatever. Those 2 are my favorites, but let me know yours. Also, tell me any stories that you had from Mario Kart, because I grew up playing this game, so I had 1,000,001 stories, and if you watch my playthrough of it, you'll hear some of them. So go check that out if you have the time, and also don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!